Wow, we are live. Hello and welcome everyone. We are so happy to see so many people here today, here physically, and also that we have so many people joining us digitally. Before we begin, I will just go through some rules here. We have emergency exit here to the left, and we have one more emergency exit out there. And we are not allowed to eat or drink in here, unfortunately. So if you have any glasses or anything to eat in here, you have to leave it outside. Okay, by that said, I'm so happy and so glad to be able to open this launch event for Women4Cyber. My name is Pernilla Rönn, and I'm the president of the national chapter in Sweden. Let's see if I can change slide as well. Here. And when I'm not presidenting Women4Cyber Sweden, I'm heading the business area for cybersecurity at HiQ. And I just wanted to tell you that my journey with Women4Cyber started 1.5 years ago when I went to Vienna for a Swedish-Austrian roundtable discussion around cybersecurity, where I met an amazing woman called Vienna Becker. She was actually the president for the Austrian Women4Cyber chapter. I was super impressed by her, and after the roundtable discussion, she approached me and said, "Hey, there's no national chapter in Sweden. Why don't you go ahead and start something up there?" So I traveled home from Austria with this idea in mind and started to investigate how to start a national chapter here in Sweden. And the fantastic thing was that I discovered a lot of other women with the same thought in mind. And we also discovered that there are some existing organizations already around cybersecurity in Sweden. So we all joined forces and started the national chapter. And before we start the actual program with our first keynote speaker, I would just like to say a few short words about why diversity inside our cybersecurity business is so important, and a few words about us inside Women4Cyber as well. So I think, all lights on me. Thank you. So I think one obvious reason why diversity is so important today is the skills gap that we have inside our industry. Actually, today, we are lacking 4 million people globally. So actually, to fill all the vacant positions around the globe inside cybersecurity, we need 4 million more cybersecurity professionals. And one obvious solution is to, of course, increase the presence of women, female, and non-binaries. So that's one obvious reason. And also, if we ask leaders around the globe, cybersecurity leaders, only 46% of them say they have enough resources and enough competencies inside the area. But why is it then that we are so few women and non-binaries inside this industry? Well, one obvious reason is, I think, the stereotype picture we have about ethical hackers, about cybersecurity professionals, and the biases we meet out there. Actually, if you imagine the typical cybersecurity professional or ethical hacker, many out there see this middle-aged man or young guy with a black hoodie, sitting in a dark room, hacking. Actually, even AI is biased. So when we asked AI to create a picture of a general cybersecurity professional, this is what we see. Guys in hoodies in a typical super tech environment. And it was quite fun. I had a colleague in Denmark. He asked AI to create a picture of a female cybersecurity professional. And in all pictures he created, or that AI created, there were this female hacker looking a bit like this, but also in every slide there was a flower, either like a bouquet or a pot with flowers in it. And no matter how many times he tried, these flowers just kept popping up. So there's a lot of biases that we have to deal with out there. And then we can also see today, when it comes to recruitment and retention, that female perspectives are not met, maybe because it's mostly male persons that are creating these ads and that are producing these retention strategies. So that is also one obvious reason. And also, there aren't enough role models inside this area today. And that is one super important reason that we have started this organization and starting to show off these role models. Also, there's not that many mentorship programs you can see inside cybersecurity for female yet. They are starting to pop up, which is super nice, but there aren't enough of them yet. And last but not least, if we look into education and training, we can see a real focus on technical education and learning, which might not be the education and training that attracts women the most. So these are just some reasons that we have a big lack of female and non-binary individuals inside our business. And why is it so important then, besides filling the skills gap, to have a diverse community? Well, I think we all buy into and know that diverse working places are more creative and innovative. A diverse working place contributes with a lot of experiences, backgrounds, and competencies, which makes decision making and makes innovation and creation much higher. We also know by research that attrition rate is lower in diverse organizations, and we can also see at real hard facts that diverse organizations are more profitable. So everything speaks for a more diverse community inside cybersecurity. And that is actually the aim and the vision for us inside Women4Cyber Sweden, to create a more diverse cybersecurity business. So we started our organization here last year in 2023, and we are one of 25 chapters in Europe, national chapters that belongs to the Women4Cyber Foundation. Today we have almost 1,000 followers, which I think is super great on this in this short time yet. And we are driving our organization into 4 different tracks. We have one program and partnership group that are holding up the contact with the mother organization in Brussels, that are elaborating on mentorship programs and partnerships and sponsorships. We have one program working with events, and those are the amazing women behind the event today. And they are not just arranging these large events, so also keep track around this fall where we will have more events, but they are also arranging a lot of smaller meetups at regular basis. Then we have our social media and communication team that stands behind our fantastic LinkedIn account and all the other social media accounts, and also our quite new website. And I know there's a lot of questions on how to actually register membership for our organization. And if you just keep your eyes out a little bit longer, there will be an opportunity to organize and to also apply for a membership. That will be for free the first year. So, and then last but not least, of course, we have a financial team also. And all the women you can see here in pictures, most of them are here today. So if you would all like to just stand up and wave a bit. I think most of us have these pink straps on. And if there's anything you would like to know or talk about, just reach out to any of us and we will try to answer all your questions. So, by that said, I will just finalize this presentation initially by mentioning some of the activities that we are arranging. Meetups and conferences is one of those, and the aim with all of these kinds of activities is actually to invite for a community where we all can meet, both female, non-binaries and men. We want to be an inclusive organization. We will launch a membership or mentorship program this fall, so keep your eyes out for that. During next years, we will also arrange a youth ambassador program, which will be super exciting. And if you haven't seen it already, we are presenting female cybersecurity professionals and role models inside our social media accounts, and we will continue to do so as well. And also, we are going to organize a lot of training and educational activities going forward. So, again, I'm super happy and super proud to be here today to introduce our first keynote speaker, Hanna. So welcome up on stage. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Hanna gets suited to her computer. So we also want to thank actually Ernst & Young, who is our gold sponsors. Maybe you can stand up, representatives from Ernst & Young. So wave. Thank you so much for making this a possibility. So thank you. So please reach out to Ernst & Young if you have any question from them. So, and also I want to say hello to everybody online. We have actually 100 participants online from all over Europe. So please an applause for them also. Thank you. So over to you, Hanna. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm just gonna fix a little small details over here. Hi everyone. So funny story. Oh. Let's do this then. There we go. Thank you. So once again, funny story. I play soccer. I had a game Sunday evening and hurt my knee. But I'm here. I spent a few hours in the ER yesterday. I'm on some pain medication, but I think this should work. I'm all seated here, so I'll be stuck on this chair, but I think you can bear with me. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm here. I'm just going to rearrange a little bit here. I'm very proud and honored to be here. My name is Hanna Jung, and I have been asked to share my story, my journey on how I entered the world of information security. Today, I am responsible for human risk management at Delaval. Delaval is a Swedish manufacturing company building milking robots for dairy farms. It's a global company, and we're about 5,000 employees worldwide. And my mission as the lead of human risk management is to change my colleagues' attitudes, perceptions, beliefs about cybersecurity, and ultimately have them demonstrate a more secure behavior online. And my mission is to reduce human risks, to protect Delaval and its information, its employees and its customers from falling victim of cyber attacks and breaches. But how did I get here? How did a behavioral scientist, a criminologist end up in the information security and IT world? One important aspect of this is that I have not always worked with information security or IT. When I was 21 years old, I moved back to Stockholm after living and working in Boston for a couple of years, and I started working as a driver, a courier for a logistics company. And I was a driver downtown in Stockholm City, and I was delivering packages to companies. And running around meeting people all days. And back then, we weren't that many women in that industry. But today, we can see more and more people joining that industry as well. So I've been part of kind of hacking the stereotypes for a while now, just trying to be a woman in different industries. And yes, I still know my way know my way around driving downtown in the city, even to this date. I've also worked within the psychiatry. So I've helped people with different mental illnesses, like schizophrenia or depression or ADHD or some other kind of mental illness. And I did that for a few years, but eventually I stopped and I thought, I want to do something else. I want to do something different. And that is when I entered the world of information security. So my journey started back in 2018. And do you remember what happened spring 2018? Thank you. 4 letters, GDPR. That's what happened in spring 2018. So I was launched into information security, and on my first day, it was all about GDPR, and of course, our beloved framework, ISO 27, and also, of course, the NIST framework. So I was kind of thrown into this world, learning by doing. And pretty soon, I discovered a small part of the information security world: security awareness and the human factor. And it didn't take me long to realize that colleagues in this info security and IT universe talked about it, but still focused on the technical parts of it. And they lacked the knowledge and the skills and the experience of working with people and how to actually mitigate the risk, the human risks. In many cases, they were all also focused on compliance. But a lot of us people know that being compliant doesn't mean that you actually reduce or mitigate the risks at hand. So that's how I found my path, my corner of the information security world, and I saw where my knowledge and experience would come in handy and be an advantage. So soon after discovering security awareness and the human factor, I got opportunities to work with ethical hacking as a social engineer. And I performed red team exercises and social engineering tests, usually with the scope of identifying vulnerabilities for the client. Now, one of the aspects of that is the people working there and their maturity towards cybersecurity. And I remember this one red team exercise, which ended up in a physical intrusion for us to be successful. Now, this picture is from today's event. It's only a decoy, so the people working here or doing this event, producing this event, don't worry. Obviously, for reasons, I can't tell you what client this was when I did this physical intrusion during this red team. So we had a very difficult time hacking this client, just plain old school technical hacking. So what did I do? I signed up for an event that the client was arranging. Kinda very similar to this event. And on the date of the actual event, I walked to the building, went into the reception area, and what did they do? They just let me in through the first barrier of the physical protection. And during that event, while someone was speaking, as I do now, I kind of just sneaked off. Took my phone up, pretended to talk on the phone, and I could go further inside the building of that client. And I found a room full of printers, and I had a little Raspberry Pi. It's a very, very tiny little computer, for those who doesn't know what a Raspberry Pi is. And I found a network outlet. So I connected my Raspberry Pi, and I called my technical skilled colleague that was sitting remotely and just asked, are we up and running? And he confirmed that he had remote access, and from there he could start hacking that client. So I left the device, which had a couple of stickers on it, like belongs to IT, do not touch. I left my device, I rejoined the event, I listened to a couple more speakers, I stayed for the mingle, and left about an hour later. And we managed to get inside that client's digital environment after I planted that Raspberry Pi. And that is how we succeeded in that particular red team exercise. Now, here are some news that you might have seen last winter. I think a lot of them were published in January of 2023. It's when Swedish media came across that there was a simulated social engineering test happening at Malmö University, university in Sweden, down south in Sweden. And it was me and a technical skilled colleague of mine who was behind this simulated phishing test. It was of course agreed upon with the client, and it was actually this question came from their audit people, which was also a pretty interesting aspect of having audit people coming to us asking for us to make a social engineering test. So it included both phishing and wishing. So what we did was we sent out a lot of phishing emails, but in combination with that, we also did phone calls to specific targets that we had already on a long target list. So what we did was, as we sent out these phishing emails, I called the targets and I said something similar like, "Hi, my name is Lisa, I'm calling from the HR department. There's something wrong with your holiday pay, so you just need to double check that your compensation will be correct next month." We also spoofed the phone number, which means that you manipulate the phone number, so it actually looked like that we were calling from the university, from the HR department. And who doesn't trust a number that you recognize on your phone, or even if it says a specific name? I think all of us in here sitting remotely, we always trust what says on our display, but please don't do that. Yeah, and even if the text here is in Swedish, I think you can all figure out the outcome. We stole plenty of credentials from specifically managers, which resulted in us getting access to Malmö University's internal digital environment. And it's important to understand that what happened to Malmö University is no exception. I've succeeded in many different social engineering and red team exercises, and this has always been the outcome. We always get access to the internal digital environments one way or the other. And in almost every case, it is because of the people working there who lacks a security maturity and a security awareness. Now, it is important to understand that we are all humans. You sitting here, you at home, me on the stage, and we are the ones sitting behind the screens, both as employees and in our private lives. We're the one clicking, writing emails, downloading attachments, some of us code. And it doesn't matter how knowledgeable or skilled you are, or how secure aware you are, we might all fall victim of a cyber attack or a scam. What it comes down to is how we act after falling victim. It's very important to report it some way or the other, or talk to a colleague and pick your thoughts, like, was this something weird? What's going on? What's happening? What should I do? And And it's always important that you report it, because if you report it, it can be prevented, and you can actually be the one stopping an ongoing cyber attack or breach. And this is also why we need more amazing people that bring perspectives other than a technical one into this world of information security and IT. And don't get me wrong, of course, we still need technical skilled people as well, but we need to learn how to work together. And we need to support each other and trust in each other's different skills and knowledges and experiences. Because if you ask me, we're all here to protect what matters most from ending up in the wrong people's hands or in a different threat actors' hands. Now, one advantage that I have, and something I use daily in my work, is that I haven't worked with information security or IT for my entire career. Today, when I communicate with colleagues or speak at events like this, I use the fact that I once didn't know what information security was all about and why it was important. I was the one thinking, like, IT, what did they do? They just help me when I have forgotten my password after coming back from the summer holiday. And it's important to remind ourselves that there are still so many people still out there that thinks the exact same things that I thought 6 years ago. And they don't know the importance of this. They might not even care about this. And that's fine, because they do what they do best, what they're experts in, and we're experts within our fields. But it's our responsibility to try to help them and support them. And one way to start doing that is to start talking about information security start with family and friends, for example. Start talking about them or with them about information security. So my academic background and my previous work experience is an advantage. I bring a different perspective to the table, a very much needed one, when talking about us as humans. We're the ones sitting behind the screens, because it all comes down to behaviors. And what I really want to push for, if you are curious about pursuing a career in the world of information security or IT, but are currently doing something else, or if you want to switch from IT to information security or vice versa, or maybe you're still in school, go for it. You have all the opportunities in the world. You are very much welcome, and you're very much needed, and you do not have to work with IT since forever to be able to do it and make a career out of this. We still need more behavioral scientists, criminologists, communication people, and plenty of other experts that brings different perspectives to the table and makes us stronger together. And I believe that this is the way forward for all of us to become more cyber resilient. And I hope that I can encourage you. It doesn't matter if you are totally new to this or have 10, 20 plus years of experience in this world. Make sure to explore information security and IT as much as possible, and find your part, your corner, your path in this universe. And it doesn't matter your previous experiences, your perspective, your different perspectives matter, and will bring more added value to all dialogues. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Hannah. It was for your inspirational speech. So before we want to start with a Q&A, we want to give you some flowers for our foundation. So you can Richard, thank you, Hannah.
I'll be sitting here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Applause. And what a fighter, having your broken leg and you're still here. We are really grateful for that. And that's also deserves an applause just for that.
Thank you.
So before we start the Q&A, we will actually have this dice that will go around. So I can start with the first question. So we have a lot of cybersecurity experience in this room. But can anybody guess, not you, Hannah, of course. Can anybody guess how many % of the cybersecurity breaches are caused by human error? Any suggestions, please? Yes? 71, and yes? 102%. That was a definite answer. That's the, yeah, anybody else? Yes? 98. So actually the prize goes to Akka. Oi, sorry. Ooh. So actually the prize goes to Akka. You had actually proposed it. It was 95% is actually a cause by human error. So that's really interesting. So with that said, do you have any questions for Hannah? Because please ask some questions on social engineering. Do you have any? Please, somebody? What's up? You have one? No? Yes? Yes. Okay. I'll try to find it. Really close. Okay. So what is your best tip to get attention from the IT department about cybersecurity?
I would say perform a test on them. I actually had a CISO a couple of years back who ordered a social engineering test on her own managers within the IT department. So we did fish and wish them. And I promise you that will get their attention because they're humans too.
Anybody else? No? Yes?
When it comes to social engineering in Sweden, how does it look? I know it performs quite a lot in US and similar, but in Sweden, how does the landscapes look like?
So social engineering in Sweden is still growing. I know, like you mentioned, in US, there are people actually making careers out of that. That's the only thing they do for a living. We're not really there yet. So companies and us working at different companies, we're not as mature yet to realize that that is a great way of testing your employees and your technical barriers that you have. So we just need to keep talking about it and proposing that to our managers, or if we are our managers, make sure that you do these kinds of tests because they are very important in part of protecting your information.
Anyone else? No? Maybe we should ask if we are officially hacked now when you hacked the other event. So I was a little bit scared. But I mean, it's a good start. So please a big blown applause to Hannah.
Thank you very much.
So with that said, this is our official launch event. And there's no launch event without any bubbles or maybe some raps. So with that said, we are actually going to have our first mingle session. I hope you all mingle with new people because there are really diversity here at this room. So if you just go outside, take some bubbles, eat some wraps, and we will join here in about 25 minutes. Thank you.
Kan du, Isabella, kan du öppna den här bara? Ska vi se. Den är igång fortfarande, yes. Har du vill du visa den här bara Women4Cybers Canva som bakgrund så att de har online?
Hej Johannes, ska vi se här.
Nathalie, jag tänkte bara säga att kan vi ta en bild av oss? Liksom,
men vi kan väl ha den här. Nu ska vi se, vi gör så här, vet du vad?
Allihopa.
Nu får vi bara brus. Jag vet inte varför. Ja, men det är för att sändningen är avstängd just nu. Ja, vi ska nog inte, jag tror att vi ska försöka undvika att peta på den.
Jag tror att själva sändningen är avstängd för att om vi gör någonting, jag är mest rädd att det blir lite mer kopplat till
Vi behöver två saker. Ni behöver inte överskrida tiden, eller ni får inte det. Och vi kommer inte hinna städa. För de vill att vi ska gå härifrån 8:33.
Ja.
Och sen när det gäller AV, han är den killen här. Han rekommenderar att vi väljer någonstans som är närmare. För det är tajt. Det tar 20 minuter att ta sig.
Nej, men jag tror det här är inte så långt. Det är ju som de har ju plats. Har vi de andra stänger nu typ 10.
Okej.
Men vi går bara lite längre till servering.
Men du var tydlig och säga att efter att vi har liksom
Jag får säga de som vill.
vi behöver liksom tömma lokalen så att folk
Ja, de är ganska petiga i det, så det är bra bara att vi är...
så ni behöver hålla
Det var bara Pernilla som inte över.
Ja, nu testar jag då. Låter det? Aha, men jag hörs, eller hur? Jag hörs. Ja.
So I heard that 8:30 is like the yeah, of course. Yes, of course. I promise. Yes. Yes, men då okej, men så att vi har tappat dem alla online nu eller?
Jag tror inte det, men det är fortfarande igång. Så det går inte ut, men det är
Men ska jag hämta honom eller?
jag fattar om jag hämtar honom, så det är lugnt.
Hallå, hallå, hallå. Hallå, hallå.
Hallå?
Hör du mig nu? Jag måste nästan ha den här lite...
Ja, men
Hallå?
jag hörs. Jag hörs, ja.
Hör du mig? Va? Har jag den åt fel håll? Nej. Nej, jag har den åt rätt. Jag tänkte väl.
Det ska väl låta i alla fall, även upp och ner.
Jag tror du behöver ha lite närmare munnen. Så du fick böja
Okej,
lite. Så.
Så där.
Där
Ja,
hittade du
där.
den. Där ja.
Fint.
Alltså, det går inte att avbryta streamen. Allting ni säger nu, det går ju ut.
Ja, men det gör ingenting. Vi älskar dem som är online, bara så ni hör oss. Följ oss på LinkedIn.
Det är därför som jag alltid
Klassiska scenen när någon sitter och väntar på att få tala och förberett och går på toaletten.
was trying.
sin dator nu eller?
Ja, nej, nu tog vi din, den som de hade satt upp redan. Ja, nej men du, kör med kavaj. Eller vill du?
Nej, man måste veta hur det är.
Ja, jag har ju ingenting.
Hello.
Hello, I hope you can hear me. We are just waiting for just sit down and for our speakers to have their mics. Interesting feature this mic has. Okay then. Everybody in? Yes? Awesome. I hope you had some time to take some bubbles and something to eat. And with that said, I would like to welcome our actually official gold sponsor for this event. So please lend a hand to Angelica Holmgren and Fredrik Hertz from Ernst & Young.
Hi everyone. I think that maybe we should have some okay, then we just start. So excited to be here, and we are so proud to be the gold sponsors of this launch event together with Women4Cyber. And my name is Angelica Holmgren. I'm part of the cybersecurity team. Senior manager, started as an economist in the cartel hunting space in competition authority. So not a super clear path towards cybersecurity where I am today. We will talk a little bit more about that soon. But who are you, Fredrik?
I'm here with the mic. I hear you and you hear me, I hope. No, I would have starting to say I'm not a technical background, but that's not true because I'm actually an engineer from the beginning and also started somewhere in the military with this cyber topic, even though it was not called like that in the 90s. Some of you actually here worked with me at that time, like Pernilla and Lena. And yeah, so that was the old days. After that, I've actually been in the soft topics of cyber mostly, even if I'm a telco engineer in the beginning, but doing, of course, a lot of technical things. I'm heading the cyber consulting practice at EY for the financial services industry, which means the banks, insurers, wealth and asset management, and those strange businesses, so to say, where there's a lot of cyber needs, I would say. But that's maybe enough from me now.
Yeah.
I hand over to Angelica to kick off, and we will try to,
yeah,
talk together in this. And please chip in if you have any questions. Just chip in.
Yeah, don't hesitate.
Yeah, exactly. There you have the mic. Good.
Oh yeah, maybe we take that when we are finished, then to get to everyone to be. So you will hear us. So we will tell you about the EY Cyber's journey to equality, diversity, and inclusion. And I think many of the things that Pernilla was mentioning here in the opening speech is resonating very well with what we are going to talk about today. So I think it means that we are a bit spot on what we have done. So I'm happy to share some things with you, and also maybe some lessons learned as well. We will start with going back to December 2017 and be a little bit focused on me, coming from the competition authority, walking towards EY office, that it was on Jakobsbergsgatan. Before this interview, I didn't even know what information security was. So that was the starting point. But I knew that someone at IT security department was hunting me because I wanted to implement some softwares on the competition authorities network. And I was like, what the shit? Why are they not asking me all these questions? It was very annoying. And but it also planted some sort of a seed in me, like, okay, this information security, IT security thing, it's actually quite interesting. So I started to talk about this with my friends, and then one of my friends worked at EY, Jakob Birgersson. He said, maybe you should talk with Fredrik Hertz, because he's hiring some people. He talks about this information security, IT security that you talk about. So I'm like, okay, then I just sending this this application to Fredrik and saying like, and then I got, with some help from Jacob, also into the interview. Before the interview, as I said, cybersecurity, it was not a known name for me or like a subject. So I was reading up quite a lot. I didn't know what a CISO was either. But with some help from Fredrik's open-minded personality, I got in. Why did you hire me?
It's a good question. No, but at that time, I'm just trying to get in reach for the camera as well. They told me I need to stand here, very close to you.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, no, and the reason why we will talk about that, there's something. Why did I hire you? I mean, we are here to talk about diversity. We talk about different stereotypes, as I heard someone talk before, and that's also on the webpage for Women4Cyber. I think when I'm coming from a consulting business, and I started there at early 2000, where the management consulting business was even more squared than the cybersecurity technical consulting is today. Everyone was suited in the same, everyone should look the same, everyone should wear a black suit and look like this, and everyone should do the same kind of projects, and there was a methodology to follow, and you should follow it from A to Z. I was really starting at EY and wanting to bend the rules a little bit, not only in this area. So that's what we did, because we realized when starting up the cyber business that we needed more people with diverse mindset, other ways of thinking. So it was actually only women I was thinking of at that time. But then Angelica came in and had really good ideas. And she didn't match the criteria. We will talk about that.
Didn't match a single one.
No.
Yep. Okay, now it disappeared again. Sorry. Okay, but then, Fredrik, we will share some 4 concepts today with what. Okay, perfect. That we think has been key to our. I mean, we can call it a success. We're today 24 women and 19 men in our Cyber Stockholm team. So that I think is maybe worth an applaud.
And that's good. And it's not only me and Angelica, of course, as you know. We are just here to tell the message. But there are some parts we have contributed to, you and me, Angelica. And I think the application process is one. I will kick off with that. Let's see if it's there. I'm hiding the screen. But the applications, it's because even at that time, as I said, the management consulting firm, 2017, is not that far away. We had a process where, you know, everyone know this is the way you do it, this is the way you should apply and everything like that. And of course, there was, as a big 4 management consulting firm, there were long-standing policies of what you should actually, you know, have. You should have this degree, you should have this math degree. You used to joke about that. And I also had my Nordic boss telling me that, well, everyone, if you don't have an MPG or whatever, very good in math, well, doesn't come into question. And then I said, well, can we hire people from Stockholm University? Stockholm University, no, there is only Handels. You can only hire from Handels. And you understand, even at that time, you know, going into the application process. But enough joking about that. It's actually true facts. But what we did was actually talking to the talent team, which is called HR in normal companies, but and trying to do the application process a little bit different, bending the rules, putting in different things, looking more variety of different value, different things, and then what we come into then.
Yeah, and for example, the application, I mean, the written application, we started off with how is this written? And I mean, when it says like 5 to 6 years of experience in information security environment, you need to have all of these certifications. No female were applying, of course. And because as a female, or it's a fact that you're reading their criteria as something that you need to fulfill before you apply. And so we did a lot of changes just in the words and also in the requirement section. But I think we can move on a little bit to the stereotypes as well. And I think Pernilla was also mentioning this, that we need to work a lot on the we're a management consultancy firm. I mean, also an assurance firm, but in the consulting part, we only have had management consultants. And yeah, so you said something about the math, and that was very much, it's not a joke, it's actually not a joke, that because we wanted to take in technical profiles with maybe a 2 in math, or maybe, or 2 or a G, and that was very much frowned upon, and this is not a management consultant, that this one will not succeed in our firm. So this was like the baseline, the starting point where we needed to change this stereotyping of a management consultant. And of course, now I'm not only talking about females. That was another perspective. But so it started like with the whole like perception of a management consultant.
Which was also talking about handles and things like that, because we also have today people with law degrees, we have biochemical, well actually those ones left I think, but we have biochemical degrees, we have a lot of things, which is also not a female thing, but it's this diversity thing. People coming from different industries, people coming from banks, people coming from industrial companies, having worked there, which was, I think, one of our successes, because it's also fun to work, because given the problem you have at hand, if you have 5-6 people with different opinions, that's a meeting I like, actually. I think you like that well, Angelica. We have a lot of meetings, everyone has a different opinion. In the end, you can come out with a really good solution.
Yeah. And I think that's what Pernilla was mentioning today, that I mean, you will earn more money. Your income will raise if you have more diversity in your teams, because I mean, then you will have other profiles that are able to talk with your clients in another way. So, and that is also what we have seen. So. That is the second factor that we would like to raise today.
I'll mention something I forgot before, because you talked about stereotypes and the application, because I also read a lot of male applicants. You talked about that, Angelica, but I just wanted to emphasize that again, because strangely enough, that the male population is, you can write, you need 16 certifications, you need 30 years of experience in that, 50 years in banking, 100 years in that. You still will have 100 male applicants, but no female.
Yeah.
So, you know, that is something that's a bit funny when you think about it. But what Angelica said, maybe then, yeah, I don't know who's wrong or right, actually. Yeah. You can guess.
But with that said, I mean, while lightening up these requirements, it also means that we get other male applicants as well. It's not maybe only these alpha males that are applying because they think they fulfill all the requirements. It's also other type of males. So I just want to maybe nuance that a little bit. Okay, now it's gone again. The third topic is the dedication. And I think for the success story that we want to convey here today, I think the dedication from our leaders have been key. We have Fredrik on stage, we have Unai in the audience. They have been driving this very, very focused along, I mean, in many years, because this is not happening over one day. You need to be very, very diligent, you need to be focused, you need to have a strategy. And this doesn't mean that we are lowering the requirements on our hiring or our recruitments. It just means that you need to be very, very focused going forward. I see 5 minutes, so we need to speed up a little bit to get through. Sorry for taking more time, and now it doesn't really work. The last area, maybe we should just go forward to that, and that's the empowerment piece. Would you like to start off there, Fredrik?
Well, do I want to do that? Or do
Okay, no, but then I can take it.
You can start and then
So it's in EY we have a lot of different initiatives to support women and the females on their way up in the organization. We have something that is called the sponsorship program, the Career Watch, where talented females are shortlisted to become to have a sponsor within the partner group, because to become a partner within EY is not an easy journey. And so then you need someone that is leading your way up there and also showing you what do you need to focus on. We also have female mentorship program, not focusing on cyber though, but we have focusing on the technical consulting part. We also have something that is called the cyber mentorship program, and that is focusing that is targeting like both female and males and binary people, non-binary people. So, do you want to say something more there, Fredrik?
No, or maybe we should just conclude with everything. With the empowerment, I think is very important as well. All these programs, as you said, and I asked you before, Angelica, can I tell people like that? You know, and they say, yeah, you can that, because I think also even for me, it's not. It's a bigger diversity. It's not about the gender thing or whatever. It's like the true believing in EY that we look for qualities in every person, and that sounds very very nice and very fine, but it's actually true, because that is for our business. We look at each people. We don't actually we try to look at the person, and you see different qualities. And everyone doesn't be good at take the math thing. It's very common, but we need all people. And as you know, in cybersecurity, we heard Hanna before here. Everything, it's social engineering. It's we need all qualities. So it's just to dive into the personality, and that is the good thing, I think, with the empowerment programs we have. We search for these people because some people is also not a little bit afraid. They don't dare. I think you had a big dare on your slide in the beginning. I really like that, because it's also for all of you to dare to come, because people that dare to come with an idea to us, they will get all these empowerment programs, because then we see them and we see, shit, this is a really talented person. And then we put them on this program to help them develop that. So I'm really proud of working on EY with this, as you say, the empowerment we have, the options. But you need to ask for it, or you need to show that you want to do it, because otherwise you cannot sit there and just say, why is anyone not giving me this?
Our slogan is, it's yours to build. So that's maybe telling what we are expecting on our employees. We want to just round up with some improvement areas, because now we've been telling the golden story. Of course, we are not there yet. Something is happening here. Okay, I don't know. It doesn't like me.
No, stay away.
Yep. What we see, we still have too few females on the top. If we look on the lower parts or the lower ranks in our organization, then we have a lot of females. If we look on the top, we have one partner in the cybersecurity field. So that's quite, it's not a good number. And also if we look like in a wider perspective on the technology consulting organization, then it's still very low numbers. We also, so that is something that we're working dedicated with. And we also want to stay attractive when building a family, because what we see when you get kids as a female, you drop off. You don't want to work at EY anymore. You don't see how it fits. I have 2 kids today. I know it's a struggle, and you need to find your way how to make this work while working at EY. We continue to create role models. That we think that is super important. Coming in as a junior female, you need to see females on the top. We don't have many females on the top, but we are getting there. But so that is very important for us.
We have a female chairman.
Yeah, that we have, like, on a global scale. We also have initiatives to facilitate the career journey, as I mentioned the earlier sponsorship program, where you can get a sponsor in the partner group. And we of course want to actively participate in forums as this in Women4Cyber. I hope that we didn't take too much time. It's super happy to be here and to speak with you, and looking forward to more interesting discussions after this.
Hand of applause. So thank you so much for your speech. So with that said, do we have any questions, both in the audience? Yes. No. Happy to run here. So yes. And let's see, I will put on also the volume. So just 1 sec. Now.
Yeah, thank you so much. So inspiring. You're really role models. Okay. A question to Fredrik. You mentioned recruitment process at the beginning, and all your managers told you to hire people from certain university. And what made you not to listen to all these people and the company itself, and how it went in the beginning?
He's a rebel.
Yeah. Maybe yeah, exactly. Maybe it's a good career or a bad career. I don't know. But sometimes you need to bend the rules, I would say. And then, well, maybe I'm doing that more time. And sometimes it's successful. Sometimes, of course, you need to well, you bend the rules and something go wrong, then you need to, then I accept it, and then of course, but in this time it went very good. And now actually everyone is now bending the rule because everyone is understanding. Cyber has been always a little bit before, and it's not only me. I think we have been always at EY being a little bit before, because we have seen the challenge of getting in really talented people. So I would say in EY, they're also easier in EY. It's not that strict as people. There's a lot of rules. We're a global firm, 400,000 people. There's a lot of policies, a lot of rules, and you can get into boards because you're failing to do things, you know, at least as a partner, and you need to do things right. But in the end, it's very forgiving as well. I don't see Unai here. I mean, I think we both have been called to meetings and explain ourselves, and we're happy to do that because we did it for a good cause. And actually, in the end, everyone is saying this was really good, but you didn't follow the rule. No, and then you're forgiven, you know. So that's
daring, I think.
Daring, yeah, it's exactly. So, long answer to a short question.
Good question. Anything, everybody else? Yes?
Can you hear me? Yes. How do you stay attractive once for especially females that have gotten a family? Do you have any examples of how you made it work?
Yeah. So for example, we are offering to get in on a lower percentage from the beginning, like we work 50% and yet slowly getting back to the business. So that is maybe the one thing, and then also we have some. We didn't talk about it, but counselee structure where the counselor is supporting you getting back to your work life, maybe finding less challenging projects from the beginning, and to get a slow start and slowly getting into the work again. But then again, it's also up to you a lot. So to limit yourself, because at EY, everything, it's a lot of fun things. So you want to get into everything. So, but I don't know. No.
So close.
Yeah.
No, because I wanted to add something, Angelica, to that question, because I think it's also not only for female having children, it's also for me. I have 3 children myself, and being able to work when it suits me is also something. If you work in a management consulting firm, most of us as EY, you can because it's a performance culture. You can deliver your product, you can plan your product, especially when you get a little bit more senior, like me and Angelica as well. And then it works perfect because you can work whenever you have time to work, and you can plan it to work whenever, and you can actually go home with the children or be with the children on a school trip or whatever. And then that is the good thing working in a consultancy firm, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw some more hands up over
Yeah,
there,
but
maybe
we need to save some time for other speakers too. But thank you so much for the question, and a big round of applause to EY, Angelica, and Fit.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. Yeah. And yeah, of course, you will also get some flowers from Evie. Okay, then I need some of the teams to help me with the tables here, and I also would like to ask for the first panelist to come up to the stage. Can they?
Gonna stand, I think.
Okay. Okay then. Is our time good? I know you have a flight.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. Yes, so let's do it, god damn it. Yes. Okay then, so actually before we start with the panel, I would like to introduce both myself and my colleague here. So we are the ones that are going to moderate this for you. So my name is Nathalie Modell. I'm the team lead for main event, and this is
Eva Fogelström, moderator.
Yeah. So with that said, please introduce the first panel.
Yes. So I thought actually, Fredrik, we already heard about you. You introduced yourself. Yes. So let's jump to Nora then. So if you just say who you are, introduce yourself.
Hi, greetings from Finland. My name is Nora Hammar. I'm the chapter president and founder of Women4Cyber Finland, and I'm also director head of security assurance at Volvo Group.
We need a mic.
Oh, yeah. I think you could hear me.
Yes, we could hear you.
Thank you, and I'm Clara Bodin, Global Head of Diversity, Equity and Inclusion at Amadeus IT. And remember that the head of D&I is the best ally for groups like you.
Hello, I'm Akka. I'm a security engineer at Tink, and I'm also part of Women4Cyber.
Yes, I don't need that. I have my own actually luxury. Actually, you are free to talk about whatever you would like to talk. But the first question I had was if you could tell us a little bit about how you ended up in cybersecurity, working in this. And Fredrik, I don't know, that wasn't exactly what you told us earlier, right? So do you want to add something, or?
Yeah, I was touching upon it. But how I ended up in security, because I get this question sometimes. Actually, I was doing the military service. I'm actually the boring guy into that. I was doing cryptography in the military. Boring. Exactly, that's boring. And that, then I got interested in more of a crime perspective. So I've always been interested in saving the world, you know, that's that perspective. So that's when I'm 18, 19 years old. So, yeah.
And Nora, you were born a cyber...
My background is from the financial sector. I embarked the cybersecurity journey after working in the financial anti-crime unit. And like Fredrik, I've always been a fan of good versus evil and wanted to work on the good side. I was heavily bullied at school, so I became this ideologist against good versus bad. And long story short, I've been working with information and cybersecurity for almost 15 years, and it's interesting that you learn all new things every day. And I think we have an expert here talking about diversity, but to me diversity has always been a superpower within my team. When we all come from different backgrounds, we all have different approaches to ideas and challenges, we can enhance the problem-solving aspect to those circumstances. But yeah, that's my career path, and I'm here until 7:45. So if you want to pick my brain, feel free to approach me. Thanks.
Thank you. And I'm not in cybersecurity. I'm just your ally, your big ally.
I would say my path was quite straightforward. I studied computer science, and then for my master's I studied security and cloud computing. Then I started working as a software engineer, and then I transitioned to application security. So it was a quite straightforward path.
And I need to say something. I don't have any educational background from cybersecurity. I learned my kind of skills and I've gained experience from doing the work itself. I have been lucky enough to be in the right room at the right time. I'm quite of a social butterfly, meaning if you don't know the value in networking, please start networking now, because it will open you new doors, new opportunities, and who knows where you'll be in 2 years' time. Yeah. Did you say let it go?
Really good.
Thank you. It actually is, but I mean, the best member of the team I hired when I was working leading 24/7 SOC, hands up, do you know what SOC means? Security Operations Center. And this guy, he had zero experience, but he was super into reversing malware on his free time. Like, how cool is that? I was like, you're hired, when can you start? And he was like, really? I don't have any education, I don't have a degree. I said, you know, it doesn't matter. You have the right mindset, you have the potential, you are you. And that's why, I mean, we need to give more opportunities to juniors and people new to cybersecurity, so they can grow to their full potential, feeling the full potential that we see in them.
So very good advice. Adding on a bit to the story we heard from Fredrik, I think. Did you want to add anything to this, Fredrik? Or
Well, I can add, since you talked about, I think this is very important because we talk about it a lot. It's, I think, Pernilla, you showed a picture. We are lacking a lot of cybersecurity people around the world. but they are actually there out there. So and also the times we are in now with the networking not only being these physical events, it's very easy, I think, also again what Angelica said, to dare, because of course me and you and have a lot of international colleagues because I've been working for 24 years in this industry. I know which the people are, but nowadays it's much easier for a younger person to just go out there on the network. You know, there is LinkedIn, of course, but there's also other social medias. It's very easy. I see the red teaming people, actually, we talked about that before, in EY. They're very much socializing around, of course, behind their computers. So anyway, I just wanted to add that it's very easy for young people today to explore the world, as you know.
So Clara, you also had something to share about improving diversity or increasing the number of women.
Yes, so as many IT companies and tech companies, we struggled with the underrepresentation of women and of other diverse underrepresented groups. And specifically in CISO, I'd like to highlight something that Amadeus has done. We are approximately 500 people in the extended CISO team in our company. We sit on a lot of sensitive passenger data, since Amadeus is the leader in travel technology globally. And out of that, 27% are actually women. And we have been focusing on giving the management support to these women to form an internal lobbyist group, sharing group, a network group, Cyber Women. We are constantly nominating our women to different kinds of awards, sending them to conferences, sponsoring conferences. Together with that, we have also I would say it was 3 years ago, the company decided that our population, our general employee is not, well, it's not on the kind of level that we'd like to be in terms of information security and protecting the company. So instead of hiring, when we wanted to roll out our global educational programs, we decided to hire a young woman with a marketing background. And with her excellent skills in marketing, in writing, in communication with people, she has, through also using a provider which provides bite-sized, interesting, suit the many people of different levels and competencies. She has moved our organization in a way that we thought was unimaginable. And 2 years in the role, this is really paying off, right? So 2 years in the role, her name is Audrey. She's having calls on a weekly basis from people from unexpected parts of the 18,000 large organization saying, I think this is so interesting. I would like to reskill. I would like to join the CISO. I also want to protect our company and finding their purpose there. So I'm very proud of that unexpected recruitment of Audrey.
Thank you. So building role models. So Akka, did you want to add anything? I don't know. Any thoughts? What would you like the employer to do?
Are you talking about getting more diverse
diversity?
Candidates?
Yes.
Yeah. So at my company, like we're like quite tech company, so obviously there are not a lot of women in the tech field. So there was the strategy to hire more women into the tech roles, and also hire more women into the leadership roles, like engineering manager, engineering director. Those are usually only men. And one of the problems that were found during the recruitment phase is that, like, this is a startup. It's usually you want to hire someone immediately. It's like a fast-paced company. You want to get someone right now immediately, and you just get like a pool of candidates who are only men. And how can you get a woman if all your candidates are men? And that's why, like, one of the things that were implemented was to ensure that there are actually women candidates in the interview pool. If not, then reiterate and make sure that you reach the audience. You actually reach people. You know, you change something about the job ad. you reach how you advertise it, you reach the places where you advertise your job ad and get actually women into the interviewing pool. And also another thing that was improved was to get a woman interviewer, because I think it's quite common when you are being interviewed, like in the tech field, in a cybersecurity field, you mostly see a man interviewer, and like it could be a bit like discouraging. Like you want to see another woman, that you want to see that there's somebody also in that team. So yeah, like in our company, we decided to actually have more like women interviewers, and I think there has been a vast improvement since I joined. Like when I joined, there were like mostly men, and now I see, like out of, for example, 10 engineering managers, at least 3 of them are women. There is there are 2 engineering directors, and there are more women who are in the development. We have like 2 women in the cybersecurity team. It's not amazing, but still it's something. Yeah. So I think those were things that were done at my company.
Yeah, seeing is believing, huh? And I think also that is something that EY mentioned, that actually showing that this is a place for women. Women work here, diverse people work here. That's the only way, and that's a really big job for the HR and the talent team to do, and the employer brand team to do, is to look into the organization, pull out someone like you as a front face, and then you will have actually people seeing that, yes, there's a place for me too. And that is, I think, is a step that many talent acquisition specialists and recruiters and employer branding, they underestimate the power of representation.
Thank you. So, Fredrik, Nora, anything you would like to add, or no?
Ladies first. I think it's important also to understand that we really need to dig into the valuables that we will have with diversity. It's just not a KPI for large corporations. It's actually something we all benefit from. I know there's been a lot of talks today about research, but it is actually researched by McKinsey and Gartner, to say a few, that diverse teams outperform other teams more than 50%. And 50% is quite big of a number. And again, when we think about diversity, when we are all different, especially in the cybersecurity realm, we really enhance the problem solving, because my brain is different than Fredrik's, I hope. And you know, your brain is different from mine. And I really hope that organizations understand that KPIs, I mean, diversity is just another KPI. We need diversity in the talent pool. We need to rethink how we recruit people. How do we draft the job applications? For example, I had a job application when I was forming my team. I did not mention one hard skill whatsoever. I only listed soft skills, because skills are something you can learn. Sorry about the preaching, but that's just how I see it.
I say amen. Am I right? Yeah.
Minority on stage, Fredrik. Anything you want to add?
No, I was thinking if there is anything I should add, because you said it very good, and we had that experience as well. You know, I did not need to repeat the research, and because we also have seen it in practice, the diversity. So that is for sure. It's proven in practice in our place. So no, I don't want to add anything.
Then I think we should ask the audience.
Yes.
Any questions, because
Do we
our
have
time is
any
up.
questions? Yes. Going in the volume. Yes, of course. Same thing. Just need to, because it's gonna create some sounds. Yes.
Thanks. Hi. Thanks for your talk. So I was talking to a friend the other day, and she's a manager at a company that has a large tech department. And she had been talking to one employee in one team who's a woman, and she's the only woman in that one particular team. And she was so sick of always being that token woman, the one they always send, you know, to these conferences, you know, to represent, like, look, we have a woman here. So do you have any, you know, I don't know, like any thoughts about that? Like, how can you make her not be annoyed about this fact, or I don't know. Like, I don't really know what my question is. I just thought it was a really interesting observation.
I can take this from my perspective. I think it comes down to the company values and how the company culture has been constructed. And I'm sorry to hear about your friend. And it's quite appalling when you are the woman that fills the woman's spot in the team, you know. But yeah, it's a cumbersome thing, and I don't have a direct answer. But it really comes down to the company values and how the company is built, value-based. And do they really like not only talk the talk, but walk the walk? So I think it's a more bigger picture than your friend is facing at the moment.
Thank you for a question. Thank you, Nora. So we have actually one online question. It's directed to Akka. Would you mind sharing how your company has increased the number of females in the candidate pool?
So I'm not an HR person. I don't know exact specific techniques that they used, but I would guess that they advertised in, like, instead of, for example, advertising in like Glassdoor, maybe, they advertise in LinkedIn because they see that there are more women who check LinkedIn. So they had the research on like what social media, what platform is used by more female candidates. I would say that maybe that was one of the ways, but I'm not the HR candidate, so I'm not the HR like a professional.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yes? I want to throw it, but I don't dare, so.
No worries. Thank you very much for all the insights. One question for me. How do you deal with people that are off the charts? So people that don't fit the nice squares that sometimes, you know, either HR or other departments have specified, this is the square I want this person to fit into.
Can I? I like squares. I like different kind of people. That's a broad question. What I did with my team, I read every CV and application that was sent to these positions, and there were 250 applications. So was your question regarding you are not fitting the boxes or ticking the boxes or
ticking multiple boxes, even the ones that are not in the advertisement?
Yeah, we would need to talk more because this is a much broader question and it would consume all the evening that we have. But yes, maybe talk. Yeah.
1:45. Any more questions? Last one? Yes.
So beyond the first step of applying to a job, how do you ensure that you create and maintain a safe space or a safe environment for women?
Maybe I can say, at my company, for example, we have the network for women who work in the technology field or in other areas. So I think one thing to preserve and create a safe space is to create such networks for women where they can come and they can share what issues they have, they can learn from each other, they can come up with different programs that are needed for this specific company. So I think that's one suggestion I have.
Yes, and they can always come and talk to the D&I officer. There will be support. I just want to say that do take the opportunity to turn to your equality person or your D&I person or the person in the people and culture department who is responsible for these questions. Actually, she or he might actually be waiting for you to talk to them, and this might very well be fitting into the strategy of increased inclusivity and diversity in the workplace. So that's a real encouragement to do that.
I'll add one more thing. I believe that psychological safety is an important factor, and that is one of my expectations, for example, in my team. And as a leader, I would expect everyone to value that aspect, which is psychological safety, because it pretty much unlocks the potential and provides the inclusion that we all need to thrive as a team.
Great. So thank you. I think we are out of time now. So
We are officially out of time.
Yes.
So big hands of applause
Yes.
and maybe some flowers too.
I would love to give these flowers to someone because I cannot take them on the plate.
So, so with that said, we will actually take a 5-minute stretch. So please stretch, take some air, and come back in 5 minutes. Thank you. And also online, see you on 5 minutes.
Hörs det? Nu. Hello!
Hello Europe! Så stänger jag.
den på eller? Ja.
Could I ask please everybody to sit down so we can start? Thank you.
Kan man få det att bli lite mörkt? Eller var det... Ja.
So please come and sit. Thank you. Is anybody left? Hannah? No? Okay, good. Okay then, so thank you so much for your patience, and let's welcome the next key speaker, and actually one of my personal heroes, because she actually posted with Margarita, who is her colleague, that unfortunately is in Gotland. I hope you see us live, so please give a hand applause to Linda and Margarita online. So before I give you the word, she actually posted something that I was really find fascinating. She said, "Cybersecurity made us find our voice." And that's, with that said, I give the word to you, Linda. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. I was actually going to start with that. So now you know, Margarita is unfortunately not here. She is at the customer, and you know, sometimes when you work at a consultant, you need to reorganize and prioritize, so that is unfortunate, but she wanted you all to know that she really wanted to be here today, so she's watching. So I'm gonna actually start with like being brutally honest with you. When I thought about doing this alone, I was actually so terrified. I don't really like talking in front of people. And I was literally shaking so much. I was thinking that no way, never, I'm not gonna do that, hell no, sorry, language. But then I thought about the message that Margarita and me wanted to tell to you guys. And that is something you can also apply when you feel like this. So, yeah, it applies to me too, so here I am. So my name is Linda Nieminen, and I work as a cybersecurity consultant at AFRY. I'm 29 years old, and I'm originally from Finland. And Margarita Sallinen is an information security consultant at Orange Cyber Defense. And actually, me and Margarita has kind of similar backgrounds to our way into the industry. So we both have a master's degree from Swedish Defense University, me in political science and Margarita in war studies. And I would dare to say that that's a little bit like non-traditional way to get into cybersecurity. But when we read this European security course, and the cybersecurity was kind of included, but like in a high-level theoretical way, we both started thinking about that. Why can we not know more about this? Why is not everybody talking about this? So that's how we applied for jobs, and that's what we did. We didn't have any experience and no technical background, just applied. And we both are founders of a podcast named Cyber Chats and Chill. And also when we graduated, we thought about that we wanted to do something more. We wanted to make cybersecurity available for everyone who is not working in the industry. But most of all, we wanted to make it a little bit fun and chill. So that's why Cyber Chats and Chill was born. So now I really want to share with you some things that we both want you to know when you work in the cybersecurity industry, which is kind of man's-dominated and can be rough sometimes. And this can be a little bit cliché, but you are special and there is no one like you. So every one of you in this room are special. Also, those who are watching the link. However, I would also guess that many of us has sometimes felt an imposter syndrome, a feeling of being a fraud or that you don't belong, and thinking, why would my opinion matter? But it actually does, and I think that that is something we all need to work with, because we need different experiences and different opinions, and you should always remember that there is no one like you. You should also know what you want, own it, and take action on it. So when you find something you want to do, for example, if you want to work with, let's say, threat analysis or cyber policy, or you want to be a boss sometimes, or you want to apply for a new job, you should own it and you should take action on it. You should talk with people around you and tell them what you want to do. And you should maybe talk to your boss and tell them, this is what I want to go for. And you should also apply for that job you want to take, because no one else is going to do that for you. Get a mentor or be a mentor. So we think that this is so important to have a mentor, especially when you're in the beginning of your career. If you can't find a woman to be a mentor, you can find a man, like it doesn't really matter, but you should find a mentor. And if you are more experienced in the field, you should offer yourself to be a mentor to the others. So you should always try to be that mentor you would have wanted to have when you yourself were in the beginning of your career. And the last thing we want to tell you about is that you should always know your values, or you should always know your value and values. Because someday somebody is going to question you and you better be ready for it. So when it gets stormy and when you sit in that room full of people who are questioning you and you feel like you don't belong and that imposter syndrome starts kicking in, you will be the only one who will stand up for yourself. So therefore you should always know your value. Who am I? And also you should know your values. What do you believe in? And what is important to you? And you should also hold on to that. Because there is actually nothing more dangerous than group thinking. We need to have different opinions and experience when working in this field. So lastly, always know your value and values, and always stand up for yourself and your beliefs. Because if not you, then who? Thank you.
That was amazing, right? One more time.
Thank you.
So before we give some flowers, do we have any questions on the audience, even online? No? Yes?
Thank you for a very good presentation, and it's you can do this many more times by yourself. You're ready for it. It's super good. But I have one question. I mean, this is very nice words, but how do you stay that confident and calm in a very stormy situation in a room with when the client is questioning you, maybe a room full of men and yourself being a female? Do you have any techniques or tools that you would like to share?
I'm not sure. Like, I think that is something that will come doing that many times. So when I started, and I'm not really been working on the field like more than 3 years, but in the beginning I remember I was so little in the room and not like there to say anything. And now I feel like that this is my thing. I can do this. So that's maybe one thing, like that, to believe in yourself and your knowledge.
That, I think. Thank you so much, Linda. And here are some flowers. You did amazing. And see you soon, Margarita, online.
Tack så mycket.
So with that said, I will need some help to change the presentation. And also I will need to ask for the last panel, the second panel, to please go to the stage.
Come on, Barika.
I think we can maybe put it just like
Sleep.
Yeah.
Ah.
Jag har den.
So panel time again. And
it's mine.
no, it's not. And now, Linda, we already heard your introduction of yourself, so maybe we will hear about the rest of you, who you are. A few words.
Shall I start?
Åsa, please.
Okay. My name is Åsa Schwartz, and I am head of business development at a consultant company called Cybersecurity and Law. And I'm also into boards in cybersecurity companies, and I write suspense novels when I have time for that.
Hi everyone. Let's get organized here. Magnus Alexandersson. I'm Chief Security Officer at Skandia. I've been working in insurance companies basically all my working life, and I slid into IT risk management and IT audit and cybersecurity when I changed careers 15 years back or something like that.
Per Gustafsson, I'm CISO for Stratasys, small, medium enterprise SaaS company. I'm also affiliate research faculty at C4I and Cyber Center, George Mason University, and adjunct senior lecturer at University of Skövde, and I can swim 200 meters.
Simborgarmärket. Yes. Impressive. So actually I would like, you touched a bit upon it, but I would like to ask the same question as in the other panels. What made you come into cybersecurity? And we heard from you a little bit. Do you want to add something to that?
I'm not sure, like I did tell, but that was actually like when we had this course in European security, we had this, I think she was like a pretty young woman who held like this guest lecture. And she was talking about cybersecurity, and she said that you don't necessarily need to have this technical background, but it is important to just like apply for jobs, and when you get a job, just find a mentor, and then everything will like be good. So that also inspired us to find the way.
I think it was two things. First of all, I had a mother that gave me a computer when I was 7. And that is quite unusual in the 80s. So big thanks to her. And then I was studying at the university computer science, and I had a spring break, not a spring break, a summer break, and I needed to take a summer course. So I just for fun chose I think it was called company security or something. And there was a small part of cybersecurity in it, and I thought it was so much fun, so I started to study cybersecurity.
Wow, long time ago.
Yes,
Yes,
so
yes.
I'm both old and I've done it for a long time.
No, I didn't mean it like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, I sort of jumped careers, and I used to be working as a consultant and on insurance companies, and I got the opportunity to start at KPMG at their IT risk department. So I became an IT auditor, and the first day at my job, they were like, so these are the ITGC controls that you are supposed to follow up at our customers. Okay, fine, 25 questions, starting with, so do you have an information security policy? Now do you? So from there on, it was audit and compliance, and when I started working at Scandia. After a while, a few years, I got the question, do you want to head the cybersecurity department? Sounds like fun, more fun than what I do today. And then after a while, they asked me, do you want to be head of security or chief security officer? And I was like, sounds like fun, let's do that too. So it's been sort of a bumpy ride, but it's been a fun ride so far. So it's been unexpected, but very fun.
Yeah, when did it start? Actually, it started in upper secondary school when starting. I was studying engineering, and I wanted to take this computer class, but it was only for girls. So because they had this diversity program during that time, and boys were allowed to do it second year, and I couldn't wait, so I broke into the computers, wrote a computer program, and then I was stuck in that, and I cracked my first password in winter 1981, and then I got banned for life for all computer usage in '84. So that was the start. So, and but that's so long time ago. So, but I would say that's the passion to beat the system. That was my goal. And since I was so lousy at everything else, that was actually what I was quite good at. And just like now, being the season, nobody wants to be that. So, and it's easy to do. And it's so complex, and nobody understands what all of these regulations and everything is. So whatever you do, it's get better, you know. And if you take all the pain for people, you know, say, oh, it's so boring, and you help them a little bit, they will be happy, and you always see smiling faces when you come. so very, in a short, very short.
Basically.
So very different roads, very different roads into cyber, yes. Interesting. So I also had a question. So what are the hot topics in your areas, and how did you get these skills? If you're working on these hot topics, anyone?
I think. Do you want to start?
I would say trust. That's the most important thing. We talk about technical controls and physical controls and administrative, but I would say it's about trust. It's about people, juridical and people. That I would say that's the focus, and to be transparent and build trust, and that's between humans. No computer can do that.
Okay, I can continue. I think nobody have missed AI, so of course AI and security is something that everybody's looking on right now. And another thing that I think is important is, and I think it's getting much more attention, is how you report to top management and the board cybersecurity. You report to people that have not a clue of what cybersecurity is, and you have to make it understandable and make them make choices about which risk they should take. So I think that is a big thing right now also.
But how do you learn to do that? Is that by learning by doing, or?
I think you have, that's a hard question. That topic, I think you have to know how you work in a boardroom and how you work in a management team to be able to talk the language. And I think it's the same everywhere, that you have to understand the language the other people is talking also to be successful. Mm.
Yes, and I used to say, and I still do, that you have to be a traveling salesman in security, because you have to sell security to everyone. And there has been a paradigm shift somewhere in the last years, because you usually have to be that salesman that stuck the foot in the door and kept talking, but now the push has come to pull, so now there is more interest and from the board of directors and everyone to know more, and they want to know about the risks involving cybersecurity. So it's quite a paradigm shift.
So Linda, in the pod, what is the hottest topic there?
What is the hottest topic? So actually, me and Margarita was in San Francisco last week on a big cybersecurity conference, and there, every discussion was about AI, and also I snapped that phishing methods have been so advanced. So I would say that are like the two main.
I must just make a comment to what you said, how to talk to the board of directors. I would say it's like an infiltration campaign. You know, beat the system, learn the organization, and take every opportunity when you have not work things, you know, to always have something to say about cybersecurity, because then it will happen. Not the first time, not the second, but it's this, you know, 1% improvement every day, you know, that becomes a lot in the end of the year. So I would say, you know, be patient. It will come. You know, never give up.
One of the old Romans say, "Burn Cathay," every time he stood in and said something. So maybe you're right.
So another question: what do you see as the greatest barriers to diversity in cybersecurity?
I would say that the top management think that they have to change something lower down in the organization, and then they want to recruit new young females in the organization to make the statistic better. And that doesn't work because you have to change how top management are before. You know, you have to have females manager, you have to have females in different part of the recruitment process and so on. So you can't just fix it with recruiting some young females. You have to change, you know, how the CEO and how the management team and the board of directors looks like.
Any advice on how to do it?
Well, that's one of the reasons I'm here, because we need to reach out to more diverse people with lots of good skills that we normally see when we have applicants. As you said in the last panel, you can have 250 male applicants and not a single female applicant for a cybersecurity role. So that's a challenge that everyone has to think higher of themselves, as you said, with regards to their skills and how they want to apply them within the field.
I could just, sorry if I take your answer. Yes, if we talk about the recruitment process, you should also talk about what's in it for you, because many of the applications you see a lot of criteria, as we heard before, but there is in many applications or in many recruitments ads, it doesn't say anything. What is it for the candidate? What do you get? Do you get a good salary? Do you get education? What do you get? And if you have that in the advertisement, you get much more female people that apply. Yeah.
Barriers is stupidity, I would say. And in 1998, I was manager for a software unit in Ericsson, and the only way to actually attract women was actually to find them the first year in school and be there at every occasion that you could be, and actually, I would say, create a relation over time. And then suddenly, 5 years later, you realize that, oh yeah, it's quite a diverse environment. So it could be that you give a pen to someone, and then suddenly they work for you, you know. But it started like that, you know. So it's difficult, and I also think that about my sister. She was the second generation that did military service in Sweden, and it takes champions to break systems. Not everyone needs to break the system, but someone needs to break the system, and then other will follow. Yes, so I think that's also and yeah. Well, we have one champion here, Pernilla, of course. I've been working for her, and that was a really good time, fun time. So it's good people, you know. And one recommendation, if you are in an organization where you feel like, oh, I'm not heard, I'm not seen, whatever, leave.
Yes.
So Linda, any?
Yeah, I would say like male. So I would say maybe that male-dominated work environment can scare many of women and make them feel that they don't belong or that they need to be something else. So, for example, I work much against like the defense industry, and it's often that I'm the only woman in the room. And in the beginning, I was feeling that, okay, I need to sit like this and look like this and don't laugh and don't say anything funny. But now, like, you should always think that you can be yourself. But I think that is a barrier.
And are we out of time?
Yeah, we are.
Out of time.
So, but thank you for all the answers. But we actually have a question. And Linda, you wanted the question, right? So this is directed to you from online. Yeah. So Pia wonders, what type of support would you or someone who is in the beginning of their career need for their manager to succeed? So suggestion on what type of support a junior would need to grow in their domain.
A mentor, I would say that like if you're a boss that hires a junior, provide them a mentor that can support them. If not like for like being with them every day, maybe to have like some kind of one-to-one meetings. They can like chat about things and learn from the mentor. I would say that's the most important.
Yeah, thank you. Any more questions from the audience? No? Okay then, so big thank you and a big round of applause. So with that said, it's time for our last keynote speaker. I'm talking to the dice today, so this is the new normal. Let's see. Meanwhile, Petra is making is going to be ready. I have actually a question. So, can anyone guess on how many incidents or ransomware attacks occur every day? Suggestions? Give me a number. Any thoughts? Some thousands? More? 20? Millions? 50? Well, it's actually nearly 4,000 new ransomwares occur every day, one every 14th second. So that says a lot why we are needed within the cybersecurity world. With that said, I would like to give a hand of applause to our next keynote speaker, an idol of mine, so please welcome Peter Klein.
Thank you so much, and super amazed to be here. You know, this is one of my areas of passion, to work with diversity and inclusion. And I think my keynote will actually be a bit of summarizing the day, a bit about, very short about me, myself, but a little bit about the human factor Hannah talked about, but also how to infuse diversity and inclusion into your work. So I will kick off. Very shortly then. So, as you mentioned, Petra Klein, I'm the Group CISO for Swedbank, Chief Information Security Officer, and I'm leading and coordinating security in the group. And I'm only leading and coordinating because together with Jannica, who's working with me, we are actually making security everyone's business. So we are actually moving the responsibility to all the employees, and I will talk about how we are doing that. And I have a long background. I'm a very techy person, I would say, so I think I have a bit of different background. I started as a firewall engineer. I studied data telecommunication, and then I chose a career within tech. I have configured firewalls. I've been in the data centers. I worked as an ethical hacker for the Swedish NSA for 9 years. So I took this very techy background with me to Swedbank, where I have done like a very interesting journey. I started as an architect. I joined the network team to be their manager, and then I was asked to be the CISO. And Linda said the imposter syndrome. I feel that every day, even as of today. So I really like that you bring that up, because every day I ask myself, how the hell did I get this job? Because I'm really tough. I'm not afraid to try new things. So I think that is a bit what I'm trying to also empower my teams. Just go and do stuff. And I will talk about how we actually done that in Swedbank. Someone here said that it's easy to be a CISO. Where did you go? There you are in the background. How the hell do you think when you said that? I'm just kidding. But this is actually the day of a CISO. You need to protect each millimeter of the cyber attack surface. We talk about the regulatory landscape. We have all the regulations, and work in a financial tech company, that's really a lot. Then we have the market. People are like living in their phones. You really expect the bank, in this case, to be 24/7 digital. And every time we install a feature, we are opening up a more digital attack surface, and we need to protect that. And then we have the increased cyber threat landscape. And you can be 100% compliant in the regulatory part. We can have compliance by design, but we will anyway be hacked. So we need to cover the full scope. And for this, we need all different kind of skills, as we also have mentioned today. So that's really the key. I like one-liners. This I got from Sandra Elvin. She's the National Security Officer at Microsoft. She said, hackers don't break in, they log in. You said 95% of all cyber attacks has a human involved. That is really truth. I mean, this is actually us people, we are the new cyber attack surface. That is really where they are breaking in today. So therefore, we need to protect our identities, us as humans. And how do we do that? This is key. So all of us, we need to create a security-aware culture. And by doing this was, now Hanna is not here anymore. Hanna used to work for me in Swedbank, so I actually hired her for Swedbank 4 years ago, but we were not that mature. So she actually left because she couldn't really get her things through. I mean, it was 4 years ago. So what I did was I actually recruited a manager for a team working with security awareness and culture. So we need to have full-time employees working with this. And that was pretty like not many people did that like 4 years ago. But now today, Jannik, I think you are 4 people working with this full-time. Out of 50 people are actually working with the human mindset. People experts in communication, in behaviors, and how the human mindset is working. And I'm not only talking about phishing, I talk about how each of everyone is really having a security-aware corporate culture. Because if you are being more aware of cyber threats, you will also act more securely. So that is the key. This is actually how developers are writing their code more secure. It's about how application owners are actually patching their systems. So this is a security culture that is really covering everything. But phishing is the most used technique. So then we need to train the employees in phishing. So we have invested in a security tool called a automated phishing tool where we are training the employees. At first, it was we were not that very popular in the bank, to be honest. Like they were thought that we were actually putting them like, why are you doing this to us? And we said, we're just trying to help you. We're actually thinking like the cyber criminals, and we need to train you how to act like that. And also Hanna mentioned, you need to get this reporting culture where you are reporting anomalies. And there we say that you are the expert within your area. You are the one who knows that this is a normal behavior and this is not a normal behavior, and that you report that, because then you can stop these attacks. You need to take the responsibility. And instead of always talking about people being the weakest link, turn it around to make the employees part of your first line cyber defense. Because you need to get that fighting power. And I met with the Ukraine Minister for the Civil Defense, and they're actually training the Ukrainian population to mitigate and prevent cyber attacks within the Ukraine. So that is actually how you are making the citizens part of the cyber defense. We need to make the same in Sweden and in our companies. So turn it around, because it's so much more fun to be part of the solution and not part of the actual the risk. So do that. And security starts from the top, and I will have one example of that coming shortly. Some examples of how we have done this. You will get this presentation sent out, so I will not go into details, but you need to move out all the information to the users. They will not go to the internet, they will not try to, on the SharePoint, to find the information. You need to push it out to them. So for example, we have an acceptable use directive, that is how should I behave, what is my responsibilities, and that should be easily found. And when you're logging into the computer, you have a message sent out to you, like when you are actually, it needs to be reachable. On our multi-factor cards, we actually have the rules written on the actual card, so you can find them on your card. Don't share it, don't leave it behind, so it's easy to find. You should be easy, these small communication messages. We have stickers, small stickers with a message I mentioned in the beginning: security is everyone's business. These one-liners, short messages, you need to reach out, because people have so much information in the internet, in all the channels. You need to get these one-liners to make sure that you actually stick out in the bus. The mandatory training, it's interactive. We have movies, we have small clips there, and now it's even adaptive. So if you have taken the training before, you actually get some questions. So it's getting even shorter and shorter. Then it's based on that adaptive training, so it's getting even more smooth. We also have Security Month, where you are actually, we say that every month is Security Month, but now we focus. And then we take in external speakers, and we have events like this to empower our own employees, but also invite external speakers. So this is very important to make security fun and engaging, to have really these inspirational talks. This is one example. So this is a fishing pond. We actually borrowed that from SEB, who is sitting here. So I had one wish when I joined, like as a CISO, that was I want to have a fishing pond, because I heard that SEB had that. And Jannik and the team, they said, we will fix your fishing pond. So when the employees came to work, they could do fishing. And they did that, and they could also test their password to see if that was leaked. And they got and we also had small messages, you see, one-liners. Don't be too quick to click. Hackers don't hack system, they hack people. And then also on Swedish, vad har din tandborst och lösenord gemensamt? You shouldn't share it. So I mean, these small messages, and be a bit innovative. We're working at a bank, and we have a fishing pond. It's pretty cool, right? No one would guess that, so you just need to stick out in the bus. And also be very brave. This campaign was not appreciated by the senior management in the bank. Treat your Swedbank ID, like the multi-factor card, as you do with your underwear. Always wear it when at the office. Don't share it with anyone, and don't leave it behind. I was called up by my manager, and the fun thing is I was not even aware that we have published this, because that is how the teams are working. They're very brave, and I was super proud. I went into the internet, I looked at I said, this is brilliant, I said. And my manager said, no, take it down. And I said, why? Because we don't want to have people talking about underwear in the corridors. And I said, come on. No, you need to take it down. We were not that mature. We will get there, but we just need to dare to try. And people talk about this every day when we meet them. You should have more of these campaigns. So I think it's really about being there, trying out. And actually, when we had this fishing pond, the communications people came by, why didn't you have like a line with underwear? That would have been so cool. It's like, not really there, but let's try it again next year. So just, I mean, the culture needs to change as well with us. So we are trying to change that culture. We will try again and again and again. And security, that really starts from the top. This is actually Swedbank's Group Executive Committee. You have our CEO in the middle. And if you look at the picture, you can see all of them, they are wearing their ID cards around their necks. And they have the band there. And this actually is, you have research that shows that this creates culture. When you go to work, you put on this band, you become, in my case, a Swedbanker. You feel like you are part of the company, and you want to help out to create this. We want to create this fighting power for your company. So when you take this on, you become a Swedbanker. And we ask people coming to work, why don't you wear your ID card around your neck? because my manager is not wearing it. And when they start to wear it, I will start to wear it. Okay, so we need to start. So I actually approached the executive committee and said that, do you want to help us to create security culture? Yes, they said. Then I took up these bands from my bag and I said, then you need to wear this. You need to help me. You are my ambassadors. And they brought them on like a ceremony. And after that, you could see them bringing that to their management teams. And today, you can't even see anyone in the corridors without wearing their Swedbank ID around their necks. And I was recording the yearbook for Swedbank, and they said to me, take off your ID card. No, I will not take it off, I said, because I'm the ambassador for Swedbank. You're like Jens Henriksson, our CEO. Good, I said. So he didn't take it off even. So I mean, they wanted us to have nothing on, but we had it. Me and Jens had that during the yearbook. That shows that we are really ambassadors for this. This is just one example, and this creates culture. And to summarize then, when it comes to the competence and the people working with this, I think we talked about this tonight. The diversity of people and the skills you need to work with security, cybersecurity. We have the behavioral experts, Hanna talked about that. We have the communication experts, we have that in Jannika's team. We need all kind of experts. We actually have cyber threat hunters working in Swedbank. They actually are hunting cyber threats. That's pretty cool, right? So they're actually put on the cyber threat hat and they're looking into the system for attackers that have been there for a long time. So we have all different kind of skills. And we also have a red team and a blue team protecting the bank and also testing. So we need all kind of skills. Then I would like to touch a bit about how to infuse, I like that word, how you infuse diversity and inclusion in the organization. When I was new as CISO, I felt like I actually have responsibility, because now I'm a female on a CISO position in a big fintech company like Swedbank. It's huge. I need to use this to inspire others, even though I'm the same as you. I'm really afraid to stand on the stage. I don't like to be seen, but I have that obligation when I have this role. I need to do something. So I started Swedbank Women in Cybersecurity. It was me and a colleague with a coffee on the rooftop of the headquarters. And we were 2 people, and I said, we need to do something. We need to get more women into cybersecurity. And I asked the group HR manager, can I use Swedbank in the title? And she said, of course. So we were like 25 from the beginning. We had a launch event, and our CEO, Jens, he came there. It was 25 people. Then we were like 100, 400, and then I said, I can't do this by myself anymore. So I reached out to our CIO, Lotta Löfven, and said, we need to grow this with the tech community. So we started up the Women in Tech, the Swedbank Women in Tech. We are 1,000 members now in the bank working with tech and Swedbank Women in Tech. And we are also co-creating partners to the external one, and it's really amazing. And you know, cybersecurity was like, we were there, but this year we were actually the focus session speakers for Swedbank. And this session, which we talked about, was super popular. So we had to close the doors 20 minutes before the session started. That shows how important cybersecurity is. So you can watch this afterwards. It's called Cybercriminals Don't Hack Your System, They Hack You. But also on this picture, you can see our CEO, Jens, our CIO, and also Anna Mossberg from the board of directors. I mean, security is so important. You need that support. They actually come to the conference to show their support from these events. So management support is really important. And also what you talked about, to work actively with diversity and inclusion. When we are recruiting, we always need to have women applying. Otherwise, start over, do it again. You haven't done enough work, because there are so many skilled women out there. And talking about networking, someone said this, yes, about the power of networking. I was sent to Almedalen with the Swedbank team. I had nothing to do. I had one panel session, but I was walking around in Almedalen for a week without having an agenda. But I came home with like super important friends. One was Patrik Kvällström. He is the team lead for Locked Shields. That is it's a NATO cyber exercise where Sweden, this is like being in the national team for Sweden in cybersecurity. And he said, I want you in the team. And I said, why would you want me in the team? He said, because you're working so much we also have a collaboration with the banks, and I'm working with the national cybersecurity. I think you are super important for the national cybersecurity. And of course, I will be there. So I was actually part of the Sweden-Iceland team this year, and this was like top. I said to you, it was like better than giving birth to my kids, but it was really, it was amazing to be in this team, to compete for Sweden-Iceland. It was actually a real cyber exercise where they actually were attacking us. We were like protecting a fictional country, and it was really, really amazing. And this is very short about also the power of collaborating. This is actually the collaboration we have between SEB, Handelsbanken, and Swedbank. So it's not only important with diversity and inclusion when it comes to gender, but also look within your sector and try to collaborate and network and really get to know people. And you can see the smiles on our faces. We love this. You're not only protecting, in my case, my bank, but you're also protecting the financial stability. So I think this is really amazing. So I would like to end, because I know I'm in between us and the mingle and the drinks. So I will start off with, this is actually an example of a Christmas calendar, how we are trying to stick out in the bus. And this started as a Christmas calendar for us in the security team. Then it started up for a business area. Now it's actually the official calendar for Swedbank, where we actually bring out these small security messages. So this is a head architect within financial crime doing this. So let's see if the sound is working. And it's not. You have to listen very...
Especially like the local admin. Do take good care. Ransomware everywhere. And even in the dark of night. Do be advised to conform. Report suspicious stuff. Do not wait until dawn. You really need to click on the mail link, or it might put the bank in a sting. Do take good care.
And the purpose with this, don't be afraid to create history or stick out. I'm working in the bank. This is not very many people doing these kind of campaigns, right, Jannica? We need to be bold and brave when it comes to security.
Thank you so much. So, for that said, I know the air is a little bit tight in here, I know, but do we have any questions from the audience? But I know, at least I know, I have my new mobile jingle ready for next Christmas. So, yes, of course.
Thanks for a super great presentation, very interesting. But I would like to know if there is any numbers you've seen, like in terms of behavior, more cyber secure behavior. Have you been able to increase your KPIs, and what kind of KPI have you had?
I think the expert is actually sitting there, but we have a survey, for example, where we did a zero measurement. We have like the same questions. For example, do you know what phishing is? Do you know where to report the phishing attack? And then we measure if the behavior is changing. How often do we do the survey? Twice a year. So that is a way we can measure. We're also measuring how many are taking the trainings. So we are trying to measure, but it's not an easy question. You can also have like different kind of tools to measure. But in our case, it's are the actual people, the people that are working in the bank, are they more aware? That is the key to build resilience. Because if we measure like the tech part, we need to reach all 70,000 employees, how they are becoming more aware. So we are using surveys.
Yes.
And the phishing click rate, of course, if that is increasing or decreasing.
Thank you. Any more questions? No? Okay, thank you so much, Petra Klein.
Thank you.
So with that said, this is the end of the official launch event for Women4Cyber. I get emotional. Thank you so much for participating, speakers, gold sponsors, the teams with the Women4Cyber. And if everybody is okay with it, maybe we can take a picture of the crew, of all the audience here, so we can put it on social. And please, online, if you want to, take a selfie, send it to us so we can share it online. And also for those here in the audience, we will actually be serving the last bubbles outside here. And also, as a special thank you, we will also want to, if you want to mingle and network with us afterwards, we will have 10 minutes of mingle outside, and then we want to go to a bar and go and take some drinks. I think at least the crew needs some official time for themselves. No. So please mingle with us. We will have 10 minutes outside, and then we go downstairs together. So with that said, thank you so much everybody participating online. Big thank you, and I hope you see you again. Selfie first. Okay, everybody in. And could we go with the hands up in 3? Okay. 1, 2, 3. So now on